Hello everyone, it's Cameron from the Tech Overlord, and in this video, it's the second video of the XNA series. I will be explaining the structure of XNA programs. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you are just starting on this video, make sure you watch video 1 first. But to continue from video 1, I will explain the structure and layout of XNA programs. Okay, so basically, your program has two main files, program.cs, and this is basically it just manages the start of the program. You do not want to mess with this. This is needed information, and it's basically saying when the program starts to run the game, and then when the game stops to basically close the entire program. So that's not to be messed with. But game1.cs is the core of the game itself. And what I mean by that is the class is actually game. So Microsoft.xna.framework.game, and it has the necessities such as the sprite batch, which is basically the screen manager. It draws to the game screen, and it has a reference to your graphics device, which is used also to draw to the screen. And it starts with public game1, which is basically when this is made, and it defines the graphics card or graphics device, and it sets your content directory to content, and that is basically the folder where all of your pictures and music, audio, all that good stuff is. And as you can see, they heavily commented it, or my definition of heavily commented, and they explain to you, like I am, what each function does. Initialize, that's basically the very first thing that's called after game1 is called. So anything that needs to be initialized right away, put it here. Load content, that's just where you put basically all the images and audio that loads. Unload content is where you unload all of your content from the memory, so it's no longer there. This occurs when the game is unloading or exiting. Update, this is one of the very core functions. This is called it's basically called a lot. Like, for every single loop, this is what the game relies on. You want to put your update logic in here, and basically that means, here's an example. Say the back button is pressed. That basically means that close this application, and the update function runs very, very fast every single second, like nanoseconds, and it checks for that, and it does whatever you say to do right there. So basically you put your events right there, because XNA does not use Windows events. Like, if you're used to forms, form applications, there are no events in XNA, or it's not recommended to use them, at least. So with that being said, you put all of your update logic in here, and the next very core thing is the draw loop, or the draw function, and that is where you put all of your drawing code. So say I want to draw a picture on the game screen, I would put it right here under graphicsDevice.clear, because that basically clears everything off of the screen and gets ready for the next thing to draw. So yes, you put your code here, under here, and whatever is here is drawn. It's kind of like the update, but it's more organized by calling it draw. A quick tip is don't use this file for actual game stuff. Like, you have to learn how to use things wisely. Like, don't clutter up this file by spamming it with a bunch of code, because it's good to have a nice clean game file. So basically create different class files for different things that you're doing, and just keep game1.cs clean. And next is the game content, which is basically just the content of the game. And for example, it's a different project, but you right click it, you click add, then you click new item, then it brings you to this dialog, and you can create a bitmap file, an XML file, effect file, or sprite font. And sprite font is basically a font. It's a text. It's text. So let's say I want to add Arial, so I can draw an Arial on my game. I simply name it whatever I want. I'll just name it Arial .sprite font, and then I'll press enter, and then it creates that file. And it's basically XML information to tell the program how to use it and what it is. And you want to change font name, the element, to Arial or whatever font you would like. And I'll change the size to 12. Then you want to save that file. And now, as an example, a quick example, I will draw that to the screen. But first, I want to take load content. Actually, before that, I want to go up to the top of the class itself and add a reference to that sprite font. So put in sprite font and then Arial, and then go to load content, and then Arial equals content dot load, and tell that it is a sprite font, and then provide the name to it. Just forget the dot, just do whatever is before the dot. So instead of typing Arial.sprite font, you want to type Arial, and then close that. Now in draw, you must go to the sprite batch, or reference sprite batch, and then type begin, and then end right under that. And that basically is telling the sprite batch to begin drawing and then end drawing once everything is complete, all the tasks are done. So put your draw code in between begin and end. For example, I'll do this. I will do sprite batch dot draw string, then I reference the sprite font, which is Arial, and then I'll do hello world. And then a vector2 is basically a point. It is basically a point. You plot the point on the game screen. So I will do 0, 10, X and Y, and I'll tell it to color it black. The default background color is cornflower blue, and so this should be drawing hello world when I open up the application. Just click debug, wait for it to build, and there you have it. It says hello world in the Arial font that I specified, and there's what cornflower blue looks like, in case you were wondering. So that's it for that. And just in case you're wondering what exactly I mean by the content folder, I'll show you that real quick. Basically, when you go to the project folder, which would be in my team folder, and you go to the debug folder or the release folder, you will notice that it has a folder named content. and this is where it puts the content files. See, there's my Arial font, and that's where it gets the files from. So everything that you put in the game content, it'll be placed in that folder, and the program will look for that folder whenever it runs. If it's not there, then it will have a runtime error and not work. So in this tutorial, I showed you how to basically draw text, and I showed you what exactly each function does. And in the next video, I'll show you a little more in-depth information, such as class creation and some of the uses of the update function, and I'll show you some more XNA functions basically. So just keep looking for my new video. I hope this helped a bit, and you can play around until my new video comes out.